Welcome to Fireside football, everybody. It's been so long, I forgot how to say it. We are back. We just missed a few weeks.
Just a few. Just
a
a few.
But a lot has transpired. The season is over. It happens every year, Bill. It goes by so goddamn fast.
I feel like we're at week 1, and then all of a sudden, season's over.
Yeah.
But at least we have the playoffs ahead of us. I mean, not so great for you, but we can get into that.
Yeah, we're going to get into that. Why don't we just rip the Band-Aid off? The Colts embarrassed themselves on a historical level. I want to read you this stat because it really just puts it into perspective. According to the NFL and CBS, Colts become the first team since the merger to lose to a 2-14 team with a playoff berth on the line with hundreds of clowns in attendance. And that's really all you need to say because the Colts were 15-point favorites. The Colts had a 90-something% chance of getting in the playoffs. The Colts had beaten teams like the Bills, the Patriots. Who else did we beat? I mean, it seems like years ago. The Cardinals. We've gone toe-to-toe with the likes of the Bucks. We were competitive.
That was only on Christmas Day, too, when you beat the Cardinals. That was on Christmas Day. It was what? I mean, what is it, 2 weeks ago? Jeez.
2 weeks ago.
Jeez.
And really, we were competitive in basically every game this year, outside of maybe the Seahawks game to start the year, but we had a ton of injuries and Wentz missed training camp and all that. But really, every game had been competitive until we play the 2-14 Jacksonville Jaguars, who fired their coach 3-4 weeks ago because he was just the biggest asshole in the world. Their fans literally want their owner to clean house. I don't even think they want their owner to own the team anymore. Literally, there was every reason that you could think of that the Jaguars would just come out here and get bodied by a Colts team that had a lot to play for, that should have been motivated. And lo and behold, it wasn't even competitive. Like, we didn't barely lose this game. We never had a chance. And frankly, it's inexcusable. I've never seen a team come out so flat when there was so much on the line against such a terrible opponent. I really can't stress how terrible the Jaguars are. I mean, goddamn. I'm gonna go ahead and open this up to questions now. What would you like to know about this shit show?
When did you know your season was over? What play? What made you go, well, that is it? We did it.
Yeah,
we choked everything away.
That's a good question. It was when Wentz threw the interception in the third quarter. Obviously, the game had been garbage up until that point. I didn't have a great feeling, but at that point, it was still a winnable game if we just pulled some drives together. But Wentz throws this awful pass. Like, I don't know what the hell he was thinking. Like, I saw it the whole way. I don't know what he saw, but like, he just throws
it. Was like the OT pick, right?
Yeah, it was just like that. It's like, what the fuck are you doing, Wentz? I'm gonna just not even let back on the curse words because I'm pissed. But like, Wentz, what the fuck are you seeing, dude? Do you need glasses? Do you need to get the Jameis Winston treatment and get your eyes fixed next year? Because what the hell are you seeing? Yeah, like, there's a friggin', I don't remember if it was a linebacker, but the linebacker was like cutting in front of the receiver. So I don't know why he threw that, but that was probably the play where I was like, okay, we just lost. But honestly, I had a bad feeling from the get-go because Trevor Lawrence just marched down the field. I think he hit his first like 12 passes in a row because we were playing so far off these shitty receivers who probably wouldn't be even the third or fourth receiver on any other team. We're giving them like a 5-yard cushion. Trevor Lawrence is out there playing pitch and catch like I'm outside playing catch with my dad when I'm 8 years old. Like, that's what it looks like. It was bullshit. It's like we shut you guys down for 3 quarters. We destroyed the Bills defensively. Like, why the fuck are we doing that? Why are we letting the Jaguars do this to us? Like, we have no injuries. Our whole defense was healthy. It makes no sense. And frankly, I blame the defensive coordinator because his scheme gets like this far too often where it's just so simple and we just play with everything in front of us and let receivers get a bunch of yards after the catch and just so much cushion off of receivers. It drives me fucking insane. But then we'll come out and have great games against you or the Bills. And I'm like, oh, maybe he's learned. He's not going to call this bullshit anymore. And then he goes back to it against the fucking Jaguars. Like it's baffling. So I guess I mean, I'm sure you're going to ask if we're going to fire Frank Reich, and I don't think we will. But I do think we should fire our defensive coordinator and try to go after Vic Fangio or the guy from Minnesota, like somebody who's got a defensive background and can be a good coordinator, because I'm sick and tired of our defense because they're so talented and we just play this basic ass scheme that fucks us.
I think Vic Fangio is a really good defense coordinator.
I think so too. Yeah,
we could be incredible with him. Like I think your stars would really shine with Vic Fangio out there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we led the league. We're like second in the league in turnovers, and I think that's really what saved our defense from just being awful because of the scheme. It's just that our defense made turnovers. Players made great plays. It had nothing to do with the scheme in terms of success. So
I mean, the only thing you guys are really missing is a really good player in the secondary, because you have an incredible defensive lineman, an incredible linebacker, and your secondary is what? Are they terrible? Are they just
okay? I think they're okay. We don't have a dog. We don't have like a Jalen Ramsey or a JC Jackson or something like that. But I think our secondary is fine. It's just we don't have pass rush. We're not getting to the quarterback. Kwity Paye's shown flashes, but he's a rookie. We just don't have pass rush. We're not putting pressure on the quarterback. We're not throwing off the timing. We're allowing a Trevor Lawrence to hit his first 12 passes. And that's been a theme throughout, I'd say, the whole Matt Eberflus, our defensive coordinator's tenure with the Colts. It's just like high completion percentage. We prey upon shitty quarterbacks, mediocre quarterbacks, and then we get exposed by like a Russell Wilson or a Tom Brady. And that just happens time and time again, and I'm sick of it.
Yeah. I mean, I got to ask, you guys are keeping Wentz, right? I mean, it's what, a 10 mil cap hit if you cut over?
It's a 15 mil penalty, but we save 13 mil. So I guess it's like a 2 mil penalty, like all in all penalty, which isn't awful.
You don't have to pay him the year after that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the way his contract is set up is next year, we could part ways with him this year. And like I said, we take like a 2 million hit, but we can, I believe, get out of it pretty scot-free next year. So the whole issue is, do I really want to see Wentz play another year in a Colts jersey? Not really. But when I have to be honest with myself, are we going to be able to get somebody who's better next year? Probably not. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to leave the Packers. I expect him to either retire or just keep playing with the Packers, because it seems like they've mended the relationship there. Also, he's a fucking asshole, so I wouldn't really feel great about him playing for the Colts. And then, like, who else is there? Like a Ryan Fitzpatrick journeyman dude? I mean, I guess I'd just rather see if Wentz can maybe recapture that 27th. Like, the fuck? I don't want Rodgers playing for the Colts. Why would I want Deshaun Watson playing for the Colts? You're frozen. It's probably me. Okay, you're back. I just don't think there's anyone. I don't think there's anyone better than Wentz. So
yeah,
and we don't have our first round pick, so it's not like we can draft someone. So I guess all there's left to do is trot Wentz back out there, maybe with the training camp, and if we get him some receivers who are worth a damn outside of Pittman, maybe he'll be good enough to get us to the playoffs. But
honestly, I think the best thing for Wentz would be if you guys just sign Mike Gesicki. I mean, just having a tight end that can just go catch almost anything. He's great at catching contested balls. So I just think you got a guy that he sometimes falls into traps where he can't throw the ball to the right guy no matter what. You know what? That's the only way I can describe it. Is he just there's a linebacker right in front of this wide receiver? Let me throw it and end the game. I don't know. I think having a tight end that might be able to catch that, get in front of the ball somehow would work, and it's not like he's going to
Definitely.
break the bank.
Yeah, I would. We just need to upgrade his weapons because it's clear that he's not Andrew Luck. Like, I was talking to my friend about this the other day, but with Andrew Luck, if we were down in a game, I would be surprised if he didn't bring us back into the game. Like, it would be surprising to me, like if we just ended up getting blown out, because he would just so often will us back into games through sheer fucking incredible skill. And this with Wentz, it's like I'm shocked if he does get us back into the game, or if he does ice the game like he did against the Cardinals. Like, I was stunned when he threw that touchdown against the Cardinals, because so often it's just like it feels like I'm watching Jacoby Brissett with Wentz lately. It's where he just doesn't make plays. His yards per attempt is abysmal. He doesn't see the field. He's so slow to process it, and then he makes stupid turnovers. So it's clear to me that Wentz isn't going to be able to carry this team. So we just have to get him better weapons next year, I guess, and hope that will suffice. But yeah, I'd like Mike Gesicki. I like him a lot. I heard a rumor that we'd get what's his name? He used to be the tight end for the Eagles. Now he's on the Cardinals.
Zach Ertz.
Zach Ertz. When he's a free agent, we might go after him, which is an improvement over our tight ends because Jack Doyle's a corpse now. Mo Alley Cox is too inconsistent. I think you don't have any receivers.
David Njoku would be like a cheaper option.
Yeah, just
that could be really good. Like
someone who's consistent. Like,
because it's tough going after a wide receiver. Because I mean, if you go get any above average receiver in free agency, he's going to cost you $12.5 million at least on average in contract. Like,
we just need guys. I'm not even asking for like a number one receiver. We just need guys who will get open occasionally, like more than occasionally, because I think we had the worst separation in the league. T.Y. Hilton's probably done. Zach Pascal's not good. He had a terrible year. Paris Campbell, I would probably last longer on a football field than Paris Campbell at this point. And then we just have a bunch of young guys who are unproven, but like no one's getting open other than Pittman. And we need like a B, C plus tier receiver or two that just know how to run routes and get open, because it's just hard.
I mean, maybe you could trade for Brandon Cooks. That might be the perfect guy, actually. I don't think his contract's too bad.
The only problem is he's on the Texans, and they probably wouldn't trade him to us.
Yeah, I forgot. I didn't realize interdivision.
Yeah, but I guess that's
but that's tough. Yeah.
But I guess that's the whole. I guess Wentz will be the quarterback next year. I'd say it's like an 80% chance that he's the quarterback next year, just out of the sheer fact that I don't know what else you do.
Yeah. Don't really know who you're gonna pull off a trade.
Like, who would want Wentz? Like, I don't think we could trade Wentz for
probably trade him to the Giants for Danny Dimes.
Jesus Christ. I would take like a second round pick for Wentz, but I don't know if anyone would do that. I mean, when you look at his stats, you might do that, but
it seemed like you loved him, or at least thought he was playing to a very high caliber until last week's game. It seemed like last week's game, it really tilted the fucking needle all the way to the other side and broke the fucking needle.
I would say that I thought he was doing well until, I would say, the Tampa Bay game. After that game, even though we won some big games, like we beat you and we beat the Cardinals, he just wasn't throwing for many yards. And I understand that like Jonathan Taylor was going off and we were really riding him, but like Wentz threw for, let me bring up his stats, because he didn't go over 200 yards very often in the latter half of the season at all. So after the Buccaneers game, you could even include the Bills game because he only threw for 106 yards in that. But like we have the Bills game where he threw for 106. The Texans game, he threw for 158. Played against you, threw 57 yards. Then he did throw for over 200 barely against the Cardinals. He threw 225. Then 148 against the Raiders in a game where you can clinch for the playoffs, and 185 against the fucking Jaguars in a game where you could clinch in the playoffs.
And there was a lot of garbage time in that game too.
Yeah, like I would say almost half of his yards came in garbage time. So it's inexcusable for a guy who you traded a first round pick for a guy who you're paying $25 million for. inexcusable. I don't care. I said this about Trevor Lawrence all year. I don't care that you don't have great receivers. You're supposed to be the man. You got to make plays to some degree, and Carson Wentz just didn't do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this game did really fucking tilt the needle. Like it basically convinced me that there's no shot he's the guy. He's just not the guy.
Yeah. I don't know if he's gonna. I mean, he might just be like Ryan Fitzpatrick his entire career from this point on, where he's just a bridge quarterback that could do really well for a team, but every now and then he'll rear his ugly head and you will be out of the playoffs just like that.
Yeah, and what concerns me the most is Frank Reich each year has gotten the most possible out of every quarterback he's had. And if this was the most possible he could have gotten out of Carson Wentz, I shudder to think it. Like, what is he really just like last year's Wentz all the time? And this is just Frank Reich getting the like every ounce of talent out of Wentz, because it's just baffling to me. There are so many times where he doesn't check the ball down to Jonathan Taylor, who in wide open space. And why wouldn't you do that? It's Jonathan Taylor. He'll probably break a 40-yard run. He just doesn't do the easy things.
Trade for like Teddy Bridgewater. I mean,
I would rather
is that better? Maybe Gardner Minshew.
Maybe Gardner Minshew. I don't know. I think I would rather just, if we don't ride with Wentz, I would rather just put in Ellinger and hope that he's like the Tom Brady of 2022, or he just comes out of nowhere, or accept a losing season and then get a young quarterback.
I mean, shit, if it doesn't work out, you could always just sign Cam Newton midseason, and everybody gets excited when you get Cam Newton on your team. So there's that.
Yeah, we need to ride this next year out with Wentz and then get rid of him and make a significant trade to trade up in the draft and draft a quarterback. That's what we got to do.
At least there's not really great quarterbacks in this year's draft. I mean, I'm sure there's one this seems like the kind of draft where one comes out of like the late second or early third, like a Dak Prescott, where they're like, oh, how could we not have known this guy was going to be great? Like, all that revisionist history bullshit.
Yeah.
And this feels like one of those drafts where there'll be a guy later there that turns out being pretty.
It'll be like the 2013 draft where you've got like, who
was it? Geno Smith,
Manuel, right? EJ Manuel, Geno Smith.
EJ Manuel.
I think he was the first guy taken.
I think they took him at like 11th overall or something like that. Maybe 15th, something like that.
Yeah, something like that, and he was awful. But who knows? Maybe it'll be better in 2 years. But do you have any more questions for the Colts?
Nope, I think that's it.
All right, good. All right, we're going to move on to the Patriots. So you did not win this week, but I honestly, after the Colts game, I didn't watch any football for the rest of the day. I was so you can understand that, right? So did you guys like try to win, or did you rest your starters?
Oh, we absolutely tried to win. And so the Dolphins drove right down the field the first drive. Drove right down. I'll give that to them. Completely dominated us, went right down the field, scored a touchdown. And then Mac threw a pick six on the first play of our drive. So we were down 14-0. And then we didn't get it right. We punted to them. We had them at 4th and 2. They faked the punt. The punter 2 yards short from the first down line. I want to get my fingers in there. 2 yards short from the first down line. Slides. And Brandon Bolden goes like this, right? Goes to like tackle him like that. But if you go to watch the replay, he didn't even touch him. He, at best case scenario, scraped him, like barely scraped him with his arm. They called unnecessary roughness on it. How do you call it's 4th down? In what world is anybody ever going to slide to not get the first down or 4th down? Of course the defender thinks he's going to juke. Of course the defender thinks he's going to juke. It was the most garbage unnecessary roughness I've ever seen in my life. We've had some garbage ones against us already this year, where Josh Allen was diving for a first down and he was still in play, and we pushed him out of bounds even more, and that's apparently not legal. It's ridiculous what the refs are calling. The refs are terrible. We've covered this before, but the refs are terrible, and it seems like they're getting worse, and I can't believe it. But anyway, they drive down, they get a field goal that they really weren't supposed to have. You know what I mean? And I think, I don't know, we start getting the ball rolling, you know what I mean? We score a touchdown. I think we have it 10-17, and then they score another touchdown. And I think we score, and I think we stop them, right? And we had our fucking nose tackle line over the long snapper on 4th and 2, giving them a free first down. And they got another field goal out of that when they shouldn't have. So it's like, come on. What? It's just so frustrating. So frustrating when shit like that happens. When you have them off the field, it's even worse than when you think you stop them on 3rd and 8 and there's like a defensive holding or something. It's even worse than that. It's such a terrible feeling if you're gonna get the ball. Oh no. And then we came back. We had, I think, 2 minutes and 50 seconds left, all 3 of our timeouts. We were down 3, and they pretty much ran out the clock. I think they punted to us with 4 seconds left on the clock. We were at like the 3-yard line because for some reason our punt returner decided not to fair catch the ball. Let's more time tick off the clock, you know what I mean? And it's a worse position for us. And we run some play. The Dolphins catch the ball in the end zone, score another touchdown at the end of to rub salt in the wound. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know if we have a banner for this, but I want to talk about Brian Flores because it's hilarious that they fucking fired Brian Flores after that game. It's insane that they fired Brian Flores. But I'm worried. We were rolling. We were 6-0. Granted, like we weren't playing incredible teams. We were 6-0, but before that, we barely lost to the Cowboys, barely lost to the Buccaneers, barely lost to you guys. You know what I mean? Well, that was after we were 6-0. I mean, we ended the streak. But then we lost to the Bills. We looked terrible against the Bills. Terrible at home against the Bills. And then we did not look good against the Dolphins. And I mean, I guess we looked good against the Jaguars, but I mean, I don't know if that means something or not because of how you guys played against the Jaguars.
I don't want to talk about the Jaguars.
So I don't know. It seems like the defense is just regressing. I mean, we dropped 2 interceptions, but both times there was offside, so it wouldn't have counted anyway. That's just the kind of fucking game it was on Sunday. But I think it actually worked out because I would much, much, much rather play the Bills than play the Bengals. And I'm pretty sure losing put it so that we played the Bills instead of the Bengals. Because I'm sorry, but I mean, Josh Allen is good and Stephon Diggs is good. And they have other good receivers, you know what I mean? But holy shit, the Bengals offense is loaded with talent. I mean, Joe Burrow's. I'm not gonna say that he's one of the elite quarterbacks in the league just yet, but he's a really good quarterback.
I think he might be. Like, I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters because of the weapons he has. Like, I could throw for 4,000 yards at them. I mean, holy shit.
Jamar Chase, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say about the Bengals because we're a little sidetracked. Jamar Chase, he's only played 17 games. And I'm pretty much convinced he's going to be the 2nd greatest wide receiver of all time. He looks so good. He looks so good. He's so good at contested catches. He's so fast, and he looks short, but he plays so tall. You know what I mean? He looks like such a special talent, and I wish we somehow got him out of the Matrix.
T. Higgins is a number 1 receiver, and he's their number 2 receiver. I just watched a compilation.
It's like a better end number 2.
Yeah. I watched a compilation today of all of Joe Burrow's most unlikely deep throws. I think 4 out of 5 of them were just T. Higgins mossing people. And it's like, that's their number 2 receiver.
That's
Jamar
insane.
Chase wasn't even in the video.
It's insane how good they are. So thank God we ended up losing to the Dolphins and it ended up working out for us because we have to. I mean, I don't know if we're going to beat the Bills. I think we will because I personally think, and it's terribly unfortunate for the Bills, but I think Josh Allen sucks in cold weather games. I really do. I really think that because he has not played, especially this season, well in cold weather games, and it sucks because that's if they play well, that's where they're going to be in the playoffs. Yeah. So good luck, Buffalo. You really that sucks for you guys. But so I think we're going to end up winning there, and I think we actually have a pretty good path because I think we go through the Titans. I don't think the Raiders are going to win, and I don't think the Steelers are going to win. You know what I mean? So we go play the Titans. I think we beat the Titans, even though it's going to be in Tennessee. And, I mean, it's just if we can beat the Chiefs or Bengals, that's what I think it's going to be.
Yeah. I think you have – if you get past this game, I think you have a good chance. Especially – I mean, I feel like we just come on here and we disrespect the Titans every week. but I feel like they're gonna go one and done. We're gonna talk about them in a bit, but like they don't scare me for some reason. I don't know if it's because I'm accustomed to years of the Titans just sucking ass that like my brain refuses to accept that they're good now. But I don't know. Like I feel like if you played the Titans, you'd have a solid chance to beat them.
I mean, we smashed them. I mean, it was at home and they didn't have Julio Jones. Yeah, I'm pretty sure AJ Brown played. Maybe AJ Brown didn't play, so maybe they didn't have any of their weapons. But we beat them up pretty bad. So I don't know. I think we can beat them pretty well.
I did have some questions about the Patriots. What the hell? Something just came up on my computer. Okay. Basically, it's kind of like a end of the year kind of thing. But what would you say heading into the playoffs is your biggest strength? Because I asked this earlier in the year. I want to know if that remained the same.
I think I said the secondary earlier in the year, and I think I specifically pointed out the safeties. I mean, Kyle Duggar hasn't played, and Adrian Phillips has not looked good the past 2 games, so I don't know. But I still think they're pretty good. But I think our strength of our defense is our pass rush, and our pass rush, especially through Matthew Judon and Christian Barmore. Christian Barmore actually got hurt. And it looked pretty bad actually on Sunday, but the MRIs came up negative, so I think he's going to play on Sunday. It's actually pretty important how he plays. I don't think he starts though, Christian Barmore. It's weird how little we play Christian Barmore and how good he is every time he's in the game. So I don't know. It's kind of like I also thought Chase Winovich was really good, not to the extent of Christian Barmore, but maybe we're just really good at scheming specific players on the defensive line or just in certain areas. But Christian Barmore looks like he's going to be an incredible defensive tackle in the league. And Matthew Judon, I think he's been hurt, so he hasn't really been playing, or he had COVID or something. We had him on a snap count the past couple of weeks, but he's been incredible this season as well.
How many sacks
I think that's really our strength. What?
How many sacks?
I have no idea. Let me look this up.
So he had like 11 or 12 when you were playing us, I think.
I wouldn't be surprised if he finished with like 13, 14. Let's see. He's not even in the top 5. Trey Hendrickson is number 5 with 14. He's number 7 with 12.5.
Okay. The defensive end
Jordan. One less than, half a sack less than Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons, man.
Oh, he's so good. He's so good. Anyways, what would you say your biggest weakness heading into the playoffs is?
Our biggest weakness, I think it's Josh McDaniels. I really do, because he slipped right back into it on Sunday. We were trying to fucking score fast, right? We were trying to score fast. We had a deep bomb to Hunter Henry. I think there was like 10 minutes on the clock, right? And to go 15 yards, we ran 4 times, got a first down, ran a screen pass, you know what I mean? And I think on 2nd and 6 after the screen pass, we threw it into the touchdown. And it was still a garbage play that we just happened to score on. That would have probably gotten tackled on the field of play. But I think we ended that drive with like 5.5 minutes left. And it's like if we would have just thrown the ball, out of like towards the sideline or thrown it like 15 yards down the middle of the field, we probably could have scored easily with 8.5 minutes on the clock or 9 minutes on the clock, saving so much fucking time. And it's just frustrating. Just watching us be so goddamn conservative. I think that's it. And there's also, Mac. Mac's incredible, but sometimes he just throws it into too much coverage. That's just what it is.
He's a rookie. He's a rookie.
Yeah, he's a rookie. We have a rookie quarterback. That's another weakness that we have.
Do you think McDaniels being so conservative is because he has a rookie quarterback?
Or
do you think he's just trended that way?
He did this our last season of Brady. Maybe it was because we didn't have too many weapons with our last season of Brady, but we had some, we had some guys. And it's just, I think he knows that he has a field goal in grasp, and he's too goddamn afraid to lose that field goal. And it hinders our offense. I really think that's what it is. He gets in the red zone, and he was better, though. We were winning games, and he was doing better. So maybe, I don't know, maybe just it's a bad game for McDaniels again Sunday, and maybe he's actually changed, but I don't think so. I'm praying that in the offseason somebody fucking signs Josh McDaniels to be their head coach. I'm praying for it.
He's a snake ass son of a bitch.
It's like he doesn't do anything well, except he has like 4 different trick plays that he has a couple different variations off of that. You know what I mean? Like you do different things off of. That's really the best thing he does. That's the best thing he does. It's a handful of trick plays.
Has anyone tried to like interview him since he did what he did with the Colts? Like, has he gotten interviews?
How long ago was that? 3 years ago? I don't think so.
2018. It was the 2017 offseason.
I don't think I've heard of people getting interviewing him, but I feel like it's been enough time. You know what I mean? It's been what 4 years now.
Yeah, but I guess maybe it's like what you're saying. He hasn't just impressed enough to warrant interviews.
I hope not. Otherwise, we're gonna be stuck with him for forever, man.
Okay. Who was your most surprising player of 2021?
Most surprising player? I mean, it's Mac Jones. Mac Jones. I really think next year, Mac Jones, if we get a slot receiver, that's a big, you know what I mean, big asterisk. If we get a slot receiver that can get open frequently, I think Mac Jones is going to be viewed as, and the public will view Mac Jones as a top 7 quarterback. That's what I'll say.
I'm surprised you didn't say Barrymore.
I know he's a close second. Yeah. He's a close second, but Mac Jones. I mean, it was, you know, you come in with rookie quarterbacks, you're like, okay, maybe they'll be just okay. You know what I mean? I don't want to. We just had Tom Brady. I don't want to think he's going to be Tom Brady again. And then he has me thinking he might be Tom fucking Brady again, just how he plays.
If he is, I'll kill myself. And I think everybody else in the league will too.
Yeah, but he's just, I mean, he's had rookie mistakes, but so does every goddamn rookie quarterback. You know what I mean? Peyton Manning had a pretty bad start to his rookie year. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I'm very, very happily surprised with Mac Jones. I mean, Christian Barrymore is a second place, but I mean, Mac really, really takes it.
I did want to say, because we never did a podcast after we played, but the way he throws the ball, like, just the way like the ball, it like flutters gracefully through the air. It doesn't look like he throws it hard. And every time he like I'm watching it in slow motion, like how the fuck isn't this getting picked off? Like it just looks so slow, but it gets dropped in there like almost every time nicely. And it's like, I know there are comments about like your receivers are like, oh, it's like a pillow, like catching a pillow or something. Like he throws.
Yeah, our receivers like they really like the way he throws the ball. I say it's very catchable. So it just
looks
awesome.
It just looks nice when it gets dropped in there. But yeah, I forgot.
Mac actually on Sunday, talking about him being a rookie quarterback, I think he threw the pick 6, and then oh my god. I didn't even talk about this. Add this to the type of game it was on Sunday. He fucking fumbled the snap, and it was like right behind our left tackle, but somehow I don't know how I don't even remember who it was on the Dolphins. I don't know how the defensive end reacted so goddamn quickly, because Mac like dropped it and he ran and covered it right away, but it's just he dropped it and all of a sudden the defensive end was on top of it immediately. And it was like, oh god damn it. But after that, he really played lights out. He threw some absolute fucking dimes to help us get back into the game. It's just, and that's kind of what he did against you guys too.
Yeah.
He threw the 2 interceptions, and I mean they weren't like terrible interceptions, you know what I mean? It was just kind of, he didn't throw the ball incredibly well, and he needed to in those situations. So, you know, I mean, learn for the future. But he came back and he played really well after that.
Yeah, they weren't egregious picks. He definitely got baited twice.
Yeah.
But then like after that, he like that fourth quarter, I was like, oh shit. Like I was like, please not like this. But yeah, I think definitely had I think he would have won Rookie of the Year if not for Jamar Chase. And but Jamar Chase.
I mean, Jamar Chase deserves it. The guy looks like, I mean, I already said I think he's gonna be the second greatest wide receiver of all time.
Yeah,
he's good.
Already a top 3 receiver, like honestly, like it's insane.
It's insane that Joe Burrow is just gonna have him for every year but his rookie season. I didn't even play Higgins. Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm so jealous. Most disappointing player of 2021 for you?
Oh, most disappointing player of 2021. Let me think about it. I think it might be Dante Hightower. I mean, he started the season off slow. He played 3 or 4 games where it looked like he shouldn't be on any NFL team. And then he looked pretty good. You know what I mean? We were winning games. Looked like he was playing well. But then he got hurt, and I don't think he really played at the end of the season. And I'm pretty sure this is going to be his last season on our team. Just to go out like that, it's just that's tough.
I was about to ask.
I guess the fan base. I mean, I don't think we re-signed Dante Hightower. I mean, I would be upset. Let's just put it that way. If we re-signed Dante Hightower, let's re-sign for like $3 million. You know what I mean? Like just a really like cheap deal. But other than Dante Hightower, I guess the fan favorite for disappointment would be Jonnu Smith. And this probably just stems from the Saints game because I'm pretty sure if Jonnu Smith didn't play against the Saints, we beat the Saints because he had I think 4 drops, 3 of them were on third down that would have given us first downs, and one of them was a ball that was a little bit thrown in front of him, and he tipped it behind him that got picked off for a touchdown. So I think we lost by. I don't know how many points we ended up losing, but we ended up being able to come back in that game despite that 1 point we scored a touchdown or whatever.
Who are you paying more? Are you paying him more or Hunter Henry more?
I think it's about the same contract, but I think maybe Hunter Henry's like a million more. But Hunter Henry, I think, is a 3-year deal where Jonnu Smith is a 5. But Jonnu Smith, I mean, he's looked good in situations that we put him in, other than that Saints game. You know what I mean? We don't use him to the best of his ability all the time, and it's frustrating because we use him sometimes on jet sweeps, and he does really well. I think we on a 3rd and 1 last game against the Dolphins, I think he got 6 yards on jet sweep, and it always looks so easy for him. He's so graceful coming out of the backfield with the ball, and we never do it more than once a game. I don't know if we're just trying to save it for the playoffs, you know what I mean? Something like that. Because Josh McDaniels does really do that. He saves players and he saves plays for the playoffs. That's another thing that he does well, I guess. But like, it doesn't really matter when you're just trying to, if we would have won a couple fucking games, we would be the 1 seed. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure all we had to do was beat the Dolphins week 1. Maybe not. Maybe we would have won against the Bills. But anyway, if we beat the Bills, you know what I mean? We get the 1 seed. But what was I talking about? I was talking about Josh McDaniels. Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith, I don't think he's that disappointing, but he would be the fan favorite for the disappointment.
All right. Well, that's all I have. Let's move right on to the goddamn Steelers. Somehow, against all odds, slipped into the playoffs.
I wanted to tie so bad. I wanted to tie so fucking bad.
What's funny, it's really ironic, and us Colts fans hate it, but it's kind of poetic that the Steelers ultimately eliminated us from the playoffs and screwed us over, even though we never played them this year. They still found a way to fuck us over. And not that we deserve to go to the playoffs. Like, I don't even want to go to the playoffs after that game against the Jaguars because we would have probably just been skull fucked by whoever we played. But it was just like they had it was like a 3% chance of making the playoffs 2 weeks ago, and they get in on Big Ben's last season.
Ridiculous. Everyone's made such a big deal about Big Ben's final drive.
Oh my god!
I'm pretty sure all of his receivers were wide open. What the fuck were the Ravens doing? They were playing like the worst defense ever for the situation, and pretty much handing them the win. Like, what the fuck?
They've got like a junior college defense out there because of all the injuries, but Big Ben gave them opportunities to win that game. Like, he threw a pass into the dirt, I think, to get it to like 4th and 8 or something, and then just manages to pull it out.
Howard, what's his name? It wasn't even a good receiver that caught that pass, but he was wide open right in the middle of the field. How does that happen, Baltimore? How does that happen? Like, your playoffs are on the line, man. Try a little bit harder.
Amen. But that being said, there's no way in hell the Chargers or the Steelers are going to beat I think they play the Chiefs. No way in hell. I mean, they already got demolished by them 2 weeks ago.
If they beat the Chiefs, I'm going to be so upset because everybody's going to be all, oh, Big Ben, such a Hall of Famer. Maybe he won't retire this year. I would hate it so much.
If they beat the Chiefs, they might be the team of destiny.
Oh my god, no, don't say that. Oh, that is the worst scenario ever. Could you imagine if he walks off a Super Bowl champion? Oh no, that would be terrible.
They'd probably throw him in the top 10 debate.
Oh my goodness, they might say is Ben Roethlisberger better than Peyton Manning? And everybody would be like, yeah, he is. And then everybody that knows anything would be like, no, he's not.
Hell no. They're not even on the same. Like, Peyton Manning is on the top tier of quarterbacks of all time.
Look, I don't even think Ben Roethlisberger deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I think he was a very good quarterback, almost Hall of Fame worthy, but I don't think he deserves it. Like, he was never the reason their team won a Super Bowl. And when he was the reason their team was good, they never beat us. You know what I mean? They never got to the Super Bowl.
I think if he's not on the Steelers and he goes to like the Chargers, I don't think he's in. I think he was just in a perfect situation for his whole career. I think they had a losing season once in his entire career. Perfect situation, great longevity in terms of like the players around him and his very consistent coaching. And he was just a good quarterback. So I do agree with you. I think he's definitely getting in, but definitely kind of like Eli Manning, where it's like, should they really, when you just look at their stats, probably not. Although Big Ben's stats probably say he should be in, but he's just like, it depends on what the Hall of Fame means to you, I think. And was he ever the best quarterback in the league in his entire career? Was he ever? Do you think he was ever the best quarterback? No.
Did you ever think he was top 3?
No.
No. I had him on my fantasy team the year they beat not the Seahawks, but who did they beat after that? Who did they beat after the
Cardinals?
The Cardinals. The year they beat the Cardinals, he was terrible. I was so upset I drafted him the entirety of the year. Then he goes off and wins the fucking Super Bowl, and everybody's trying to tell me how good he is. I was like, look, man, he was fucking garbage.
Yeah.
I think that's where it stemmed from. That's where my hate for Ben Roethlisberger stemmed from, is he had a garbage season, won the fucking Super Bowl because Santonio Holmes fucking made an incredible catch. I used to think he didn't get his foot down, and then one of my friends that's a Steelers fan from Penn State showed me like a photo that very clearly shows he did get his foot down. So I couldn't be the Earth is flat guy. You know what I mean? I couldn't be that guy anymore. So I backed down for that argument. But he made an incredible fucking catch. Like,
he did.
Ben Roethlisberger's not a bad quarterback. I'm not trying to say that by any means, but I think Philip Rivers is better. If Philip Rivers is on the Steelers, they win 3 Super Bowls. They win at least one more than him.
Yeah, I think that at best, Roethlisberger might have been like the 5th to 7th best quarterback in the league during like his best season, and then just had playoff success largely because of his defenses. And he's again in the playoffs largely because of his defense. But I fully expect them to get trashed against the Chiefs. But we'll go into our predictions.
Rooting for at least 5 interceptions in Ben Roethlisberger's last game.
I
that would make me so happy. I hope he starts the game off throwing 3 pick sixes, and then they get like, I don't know, a kick return for a touchdown and like a screen pass that goes for a touchdown. Then I hope he throws 2 more interceptions to end it, and then 1 more in garbage time.
So you want it to be like the Browns game last year?
Yes. Oh my God, that game was incredible. Watching them get absolutely trampled on by the Browns, fucking Browns, and the Browns didn't even have their head coach because he was out with COVID or something else. He couldn't go to the game, and they still smashed them. And it started off the same way as the fucking Broncos Seahawks Super Bowl, so that was pretty great. The snap going right past them for a safety.
Yeah, it was great. But yeah, I definitely hope his last game as a pro is like. Do you remember Dan Marino's last game where they played the Jaguars in the divisional round of the playoffs?
So. What year
they
was
lost.
That?
It was like 2001. I look it up. They lost. What did they? They lost 62-7.
I want that. I want that to be the way he was. I want 77-3. That's what I want.
Jesus Christ. Marino was 11 for 25 for 95 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. And they lost 62-7.
My goodness. Who did they play? The Jaguars.
Jaguars.
Oh, those Jaguars, man. Always ruining it for people.
They really get you. I think whenever you play in Duval,
They're so stupid. It's so stupid that they chant Duval. It is literally the name of their county. It is the name of their county. What? I don't even know what the county is of Foxborough, but like, even if they just chanted Foxborough, that'd be the stupidest shit ever.
You should start that. Or Boston. Boston.
Massachusetts.
All right, let's talk number 1 seed. So we know the Packers won it pretty handily in the NFC. There's not going to be a lot of NFC talk because it was pretty much all sorted out before this week. But the Titans got the number 1 seed in spite of it all in the AFC, which was kind of shocking. Like they kind of snuck up and nabbed that sucker late in this year because they were struggling down the stretch without Henry, without Julio Jones. And then they managed to grab it. And kudos.
I mean, they beat the Dolphins, and the Dolphins needed that game to make the playoffs. You know what I mean? And
beat the Dolphins handily.
We lost to the Dolphins, and were the Titans at home? I think the Titans might have been at home, unless the Dolphins played 2 home games at the end of the year.
I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I hate the Titans, and historically we've disrespected the hell out of the Titans, but I think we just have to give them some credit.
Still suck. The Titans still fucking
They're trash. They're the worst team in the league.
For 1 week, I mean, who did they beat? They beat the Bills and they beat the Chiefs, right? And then I was like, oh, the Chiefs
the Rams and the Chiefs.
Yeah, I was like, oh, they're a good team. And no, I'm sorry, Titans fans. You're getting put right back in the fucking trash can. You're a garbage ass team. And we smashed you. If we play you again, we're gonna fucking smash on you. You're gonna be, oh, well, I wish we had a better team.
Tighten up. No, I think
we'll just lose to the Titans like 42-14.
You're gonna have to apologize.
If we play them, we have to beat the fucking Bills. So like,
yeah. You would have to apologize to them publicly again.
Yeah, again, once more.
You just don't learn. Like,
how many times we teach you this lesson, old man?
But I'm right there with you. I don't think that they're gonna win a playoff game. I think they're gonna get bounced in the divisional round. Even if I don't care that they'll have Derrick Henry back. I think they'll still get bounced.
Like AJ Brown would have to have like an incredible game, and so would have to You know what I mean? They would have to be both at the top of their games. And I mean, AJ Brown's so up and down. I think it's injuries, and I don't think he necessarily tells people when he's hurt, and he just goes out there and plays. You know, he doesn't play too well. Either that, or they just don't fucking throw him the ball enough. I don't understand why AJ Brown isn't out there smashing on people every week because he's so fucking good.
He went off in that Niners game.
He has good games. You know what I mean? But it seems he could do that every week if they gave him the opportunity.
And Julio Jones, kind of a waste of space for the Titans. What did they give him, like a 2nd-round pick, right? And
and I think they're paying him like at least $10 million, if not more.
Yeah, kind of a waste. Granted,
he runs the ball all the time. Yeah. Like what? Why don't you just trade? I mean, again, interdivision, but like, why don't you trade for somebody like Brandon Cooks? You know what I mean? Or if you're gonna make that trade, try to trade for Michael Thomas. I mean, it would probably be only a little bit more, but they weren't getting along. You know what I mean? You probably could have traded for him.
Yeah. I mean, what did he have? Like, I think he had 400 yards. He was hurt all the time. He had 1 touchdown. I think him and Kenny Golladay are probably the most disappointing receivers this year. And I don't necessarily blame Kenny Golladay 100% because, I mean,
his offense was trash. Going into week 17, they only had 1 touchdown to a receiver.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you are
week 18.
The number 1 receiver getting paid all that money. You'd think he'd do a little more, but still, like, he has a bad offense on a bad team. And Joe Judge, thank God he got fired.
Oh my goodness. I thought they weren't going to fire him for a second, and it's a good thing they did.
They would have been stupid to not fire him.
Watch Flores go there.
I wouldn't touch that. I think that might be the least appealing head coaching position.
So I don't think they have that bad of a team. They have really good playmakers on offense. Saquon Barkley, I mean, he gets hurt a lot, but that injury against the Cowboys, come on. Like, that was a fluke injury. Some guy just fucking shoved his foot under him while he was just jogging off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it does happen a lot. I'll give it to you. But if you want, if I would choose one player in the open field to make a play, you know what I mean, on like one-on-one situation, it's Saquon Barkley. The guy is incredibly elusive in the open field. And I don't know if they just can't ever get him in that situation or if they're just so bad he barely gets the ball. But I think he's incredible. And then Kenny Galladay, I really think if Kenny Galladay was, I don't know, if he got drafted to like the Packers, you know what I mean? I think he'd be on pace to be a Hall of Famer. I think he's a really good wide receiver where if he was in the right position, he can pop off. Like he's pretty damn good. But I don't know. I guess sometimes it just doesn't work. I mean, I saw a play last week where the ball was in his hands and he just let it slide past. Maybe he's got like a Randy Moss mentality when he's not even nearly as good as Randy Moss, where he doesn't try if he's on a bad team.
I think he's not good at getting separation. And so if you don't have a quarterback who throws contested balls up to him, he's not going to do much because he doesn't get separation.
Yeah,
that's what I've heard Lions fans say that, and I think the stats support it. He just doesn't get separation, which is kind of concerning. If you're gonna have him be your number one guy, and you have Daniel fucking Jones.
But, I mean, you have Kadarius Toney though, and I'm pretty sure he's all separation. The guy, I mean, I think he only played a handful of games because he seems like he's got kind of that Paris Campbell vibe.
Paris Campbell syndrome.
But he looked incredible when he played. He's so quick, so agile. And so I think all three of those pieces, that's something to build off of. You know what I mean? I mean, they drafted a lineman 2 years ago at left tackle. I think he's okay. You know what I mean? So you at least have one tackle. Go get another one in the offseason. I think they're finally off of, what was it, Nate Soldier or Sebastian Vollmer's contract, whichever one went there.
I think it was Soldier.
Yeah, and he was garbage coming off the page. I could not believe they signed him to that contract. But I think they're finally getting off of that so they could sign somebody else to play the other side of the line. And they just need a quarterback. I mean, it's not easy to get a quarterback, I'll give you that. But I'm pretty sure Russell Wilson wants to go to New York. So you fucking trade for Russell Wilson.
You make that happen.
You trade them right now. You keep your core, you keep Saquon, you keep Galladay, you keep Kadarius Toney. And that's it. You trade whoever the fuck they want and however many picks for Russell Wilson. Because Russell Wilson makes you a competitor, especially if you have a player like Brian Flores.
Or a coach like Brian Flores. Fucking die to have Russell Wilson on the Colts. I would die. Like, oh. I just miss, like, these last few weeks, like, it just really, I miss Andrew Luck so much these last few weeks. Like, yeah. I don't think I've missed him.
Andrew Luck out here looking like Nigel Thornberry now. Did you see that?
He looks so thin. Like, oh my God. He's definitely not coming back. He's so skinny. But like, as a Colts fan, we had Peyton Manning and then we had Andrew Luck basically consecutively. I never really appreciated how good it felt to have a franchise quarterback, an elite quarterback, until now. It's like, now we're just like every other team who doesn't have one, and you're getting mediocre quarterback play, and it sucks. Like, it's not as fun. Like, football is so much fun when you've got a quarterback who just sling it around all over the field and drive you up and down the field.
I know really I sound like a if you guys go out and you sign J.C. Jackson and you trade for, I don't know, like a Chris Harris type guy, like an older corner that can play well, I think your defense would be good enough with Vic Fangio or like a good defensive coordinator. I think they'd be good enough to completely carry your team like the Denver Broncos did in 2015. Like, I think your defense is that fucking good. Like, you have a good team. It's just you don't.
It's not the corners, though. It's the pass rush. Like,
yeah, is it the pass rush?
Yeah, it's 100% the pass rush. Rock Ya-Sin he's allowed the least incompletions, I think, through like, it was like week 13 or something. In the last like 5 weeks, he's allowed like the least incompletions in the league. Like, he's good. He got hurt in the Jacksonville game. And then Kenny Moore, I don't know what the fuck happened to him in the last couple of weeks. He was awful in these last 2 games. Terrible. And then Isaiah Rodgers is a young guy and he's really fast and he has great closing speed. So he's looked promising, but it's just if Ben Banogu sucks, we need to cut him. But if Kwity Paye can come into his own and give us like 10 sacks a year, and the second rounder that we drafted, his name is eluding me. It's something weird. Odengbo, yeah, Odengbo. If he can heal from his injury, because he tore his Achilles in college, so he wasn't like 100%. I don't know why we're talking about the Colts again, but we're talking about the Colts again. If we can just get our pass rush in check, I agree with you. We'll have a great defense, but It's
like
just,
I really think like I wouldn't be too down on your team, even if you don't have even if you have Carson Wentz, because I think that defense can carry you next season.
I think we'll make the playoffs next year regardless. We had a brutal schedule this year and injuries, and then we just choked really hard. And so Raiders versus Chargers, that was a fucking game that I didn't watch because I was depressed about football.
Oh my God, did you miss a game? I think the Chargers had 2 touchdown drives in a row where the first one, I think they converted 3 third downs. I mean, sorry, 3 fourth downs.
Fourth downs, yeah.
And then including the final play, which was a touchdown. And then the second drive, I think it was 4 fourth downs, and they scored a touchdown on the last play of the game to take it into overtime. They also got a 2-point conversion in the mix. It's just insane what they were able to pull off. They go to overtime. It looks like we're gonna fucking do it to the Steelers, man. It looks like that's it for Big Ben. We're never gonna see him again. And they even, Zach, before the Raiders kicked the field goal, I think it was like a minute before or like a minute and a half. Like no team was calling timeout or anything, right? Which I don't think a team would anyway in that situation. But they cut to a Steelers fan in the stands, and he was fuming. He was so angry, and he was shouting, and he was just so upset. And it brought me so much joy to see that man just that upset. And he was probably cheering when they got the field goal.
I can't stand Steelers fans. Like, I got a notification on my phone today, and like it was some Steeler fan on Reddit like digging up old comments that I had made on the Colts subreddit, not even on the Steelers. Like, I don't go on other teams subreddits because I'm not an asshole. But like I said, I don't remember what I said, but I was talking about, it was like weeks ago, and it was just like he was like, lol, like this aged well or whatever. And then I looked at his account, and he had done it to like way more comments on the Colts subreddit. It's like, why the fuck do you care? Like, why are you such an asshole?
Why do they hate you so much? They fucking wreck you every time.
They beat us every fucking game. They have no reason to hate us. They should love us. Like, we're like 6-26 all time against them. Like, we have a better record against you than we have against them. It's insane. But yeah, so in that moment, I decided that I wanted to see the Steelers absolutely get skull fucked against the Chiefs in the wild card round. But
I don't blame you.
Yeah, I wish that they had tied and the Steelers got eliminated. That would have been so funny.
It would have been so great. I'm so upset the Steelers or the Raiders for kicking the field goal. But I guess you gotta try to win the game in the end. I suppose.
Yeah,
it is, and I guess it is your division rival. So why the fuck do you want your division rival to make the playoffs? Exactly. You know what I mean?
Like if we were the Raiders and the Chargers were the Titans, I absolutely wanted to kill the Titans season.
Yeah, like if we were playing anybody, the Jets, especially the Dolphins, but if you're playing like in the Bills, no way I want them into the playoffs. No. Fuck you guys.
Yeah,
that's probably what the driving force was.
Yeah, that was a fuck you field goal. But that game, I wish I might go back and watch it because I was just not in a good state of mind to watch football. I was very sad, and I didn't want to see 2 teams fighting out to go to the playoffs. But man, Justin Herbert, so good.
He's a really good player.
It's kind of crazy that they're not in the playoffs, but they did it to themselves.
I was actually talking about this a couple weeks ago. I was hanging out with friends. I think Justin Herbert's arm reminds me. I'm sorry to bring it up. Reminds me a lot of Andrew Luck. Yeah, like just the arm strength. 'Cause he doesn't have Patrick Mahomes' arm strength, but Andrew Luck could fucking sling the ball, and he just reminds me a lot of Andrew Luck. He doesn't necessarily have intelligence, but the way he throws the ball, it really does.
Even their throwing motions are similar. Like, it's whenever I watch him, I get a little sad. That's why I like Joe Burrow more, is because like I love Joe Burrow. I would kill to have Joe Burrow on the Colts. But Justin Herbert, I do see the comparison. Let's jump into rookie quarterbacks. There are a lot of them this year. We'll only talk about the first rounders.
I think we got to throw Davis Mills in there. I think we got to talk about Davis Mills.
I think he's trash. I'm just going to come out and say I don't care that he's had a few good games. I think he's trash.
I think he could be Derek Carr. I really do. I think he could come out and he could have a pretty good career, and everybody will shit on him his entire fucking career. And I think he could do it. I really do.
So this
I don't
is
know if
why
he
I think
will,
he's
but I don't
trash.
think he's bad necessarily. But I understand he's on Texans, and you think he's trash. So there you go. We
I'll
covered
tell you
Davis
why I think
Mills
he's
in a
trash.
nutshell.
I watched Davis Mills play 1.5 games against the Colts this year. Do you know how many points the Texans scored in 2
3? Did they
games?
score 3 points?
They scored 3 points against the Colts. And do you know what I had to listen to whenever Davis Mills was on the field because the
Did you know that
did you
know that the Texans swept the Jaguars this year?
I don't want to talk about it. I don't know.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
But I had to listen to these commentators suck off Davis Mills. Like, he's been really effective out here today. It's like, you have 3 points. He has not been effective. I didn't see anything special out of him, at least when he played the Colts. I understand he played well against you guys and he played well against the Titans and whatnot, but I don't know. I just think he's going to be a flash in the pan.
Yeah. Gardner Minshew, kind of.
Yeah, maybe even worse. But well, kudos to you, Davis Mills. Like, good job. Now let's talk about the real rookie quarterbacks.
The ones that actually matter.
Yeah, the
get
ones
fucking body, Davis.
The ones that get paid money.
Meanwhile, Davis Mills, I'm sure he gets paid like 800,000 a year.
Yeah, he gets paid a lot of money. But let's talk about Trevor Lawrence. So Trevor Lawrence was pretty bad this year, all in all, until one game. But
until one day, you decided today is the day that I'm an NFL quarterback.
You know, it's funny that you say that because I don't know if it was with you, but I kept making the joke that like he's gonna realize, like he's gonna wake up on Sunday morning when he plays the Colts in Week 18, and it's gonna finally click for him. He's like, I understand how to be a good quarterback now. Like, I figured it out. And it's going to coincidentally happen when he plays the Colts Week 18, and we need to win that game to get into the playoffs. And I'm scared that has happened, and it has awakened something in Trevor Lawrence, and now he's going to be the guy that everybody thought he would be. But the first 17 weeks of this season, he did not look like the guy. He looked like a bust.
No, he did not. Yeah. I mean, that I don't know if it was 3rd down or 4th down against you guys where he fumbled. And who did he stiff arm or evade? And as he was running, as he was running to the right, he like threw to the back of the end zone. I was like, I saw that play and I was like, Trevor Lawrence, look at you, man, making a play. Like I just hadn't seen him do anything good before like that.
I wasn't even mad when that happened because I was like, of course, like it's just one of those games. Like
he has awakened.
Yeah, that would happen, wouldn't it? Like he gets his own fumble. Evades, I think it was our safety. He evades our safety, and then just throws a dart, and of course the guy's open. And but yeah, he played really well in that game. I don't know if that's saying much because we did play 10 yards off of the receivers, so I feel like I could have completed a lot of those passes, but he did have some great throws. There was an incompletion, his first incompletion of the game. It was an amazing throw, and the guy just dropped it. But he did make some great throws, and I think Jaguars fans have a little optimism now going into next year because of that one game.
How much did the clown stuff piss you off?
I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's embarrassing that we lost a game with those circumstances, but I thought it was pretty fucking funny.
They came prepared. They fucking coordinated. Hats off to you, Jacksonville.
Did you hear? So there was a point in the game where they like went into the stands and like did one of those trivia things, and they asked this lady like, okay, so is it A, B, C, or C? And she said D. Fire Trent Baalke live on the mic in the stadium.
That's incredible. That's absolutely incredible.
All the Jaguars fans who were dressed up as clowns just went insane. It's so funny. But so let's talk Zach Wilson now. I actually think he improved a little bit late in the year, which I mean it's not saying much because he was pretty bad. But he had a good few games. I mean, he played like shit against the Bills, but he played well against the Jaguars. He played solid against the Jets, against the Eagles, and he had a good game against the Buccaneers that they almost won. I kind of feel like he's gonna just Darnold, where it's like I remember Darnold showed some things late in his rookie year, and people were like, "Oh, maybe he's gonna be the guy in New York." And then he was just trash. He was seeing ghosts against you, and all that in the next year. And that's how I kind of feel Zach Wilson's gonna be, because until the Jets show me otherwise, I refuse to believe that they're gonna turn it around.
Zach Wilson is actually he's super interesting to me because I watch him play and he doesn't make many good plays, but when I watch him, I say to myself, I go, like, I could see why they took this guy with the second overall pick. Like, I can see what he can do, and that was especially thinking back to Sunday because I was watching that Bills game a lot, and just watching him play, and it's just he's really good at buying time for himself in the backfield and setting to try to launch. I saw him do it. I think at least 4 times, if not 5, where he ran back for like 15 seconds, just running back, stopping, evading. He would evade guys too really well, stopping, looking, like, trying to find a guy. I guess nobody was open or it was just too hard to find a guy. And in the games that we played, I mean, obviously he had garbage throws, and I'm talking about garbage throws, but he had, I think, across the 2 games, he had 3 throws where I was just like, wow, that was like I don't think like many. I think there's 10 quarterbacks that can make that throw, and it's just so he has so much talent. You know what I mean? So much talent that I think he can be Jay Cutler. He can be the kind of quarterback where he can go out there, he can be lights out, or he can go out there and he'd be garbage. Like pretty much any. He could be Carson Wentz. I think he's going to be that kind of guy. Or he could be really good. He could just come out next season. I mean, Elijah Moore didn't play a lot, and he looked pretty good when he was playing. Corey Davis played like 5 games, I think, 7 games. So, I mean, they're going to get their best players back. Maybe they get another guy like a Mike Gesicki or somebody like that, another weapon to help, really solidify that core. And I think he could come out and be pretty good, but he's had some bad moments. I'll give you that. So
I think
after
argue,
next year, they're gonna know. They're gonna know if he's good or not, if he's terrible or if he's good.
I'd argue he's had the lowest lows of any of the quarterbacks.
Absolutely.
He's had some terrible games. Moving on to, I mean, we can talk about Trey Lance because he did play that. He played pretty well 2 weeks ago when they played the Texans, but it was the Texans, and my grandpa's convinced that Trey Lance sucks, and he's like a huge Niners fan. He was just like, Jesus Christ, this guy's never gonna be anything in the NFL. And he threw one of the.
I mean, I hate to say it, but I think I agree with your grandpa. When I watch him play, I go, what does he do special? He's not fast. It doesn't seem like he runs the ball necessarily well, and that was supposed to be one of his key traits. And he's supposed to be able to launch it, but I haven't seen that arm strength on display when he's played, and doesn't make great decisions. It seems like he's either gonna be Patrick Mahomes, where all of a sudden over an offseason he goes, I'm the best quarterback in the league right now, or he's just gonna be not good. Like I don't like, or Jordan Love. That's who he might be. He's either gonna be Carson. Get my words, but he's either gonna be Patrick Mahomes or Jordan Love, and I guess we'll know in 2 years.
Yeah, it just doesn't look like. I mean, he's a rookie. Like Niners fans, he's a rookie. So take this with a grain of salt. But it doesn't.
And we were told during the entire draft process, this player might even need 2 years before he's ready to play in the NFL. So that could be it. It could be that he so doesn't know what the fuck is going on somehow.
He did go to North Dakota State or whatever.
He needs years to get better. Like Patrick Mahomes, I remember Tyreek Hill told a story where he saw him play during the offseason as rookie, and he went, this is the fucking guy we traded up for? Like he was garbage. Patrick Mahomes was garbage this rookie year.
Tyreek Hill then went home and beat the shit out of his son. After
that's unfortunately how that ends.
But like he does remind me of like, I mean, Jordan Love hasn't played that much either, but Jordan Love has not looked good. I'm glad that the Packers might suck after Aaron Rodgers because they need to suck for a while. Like, come on, Packers, you can't keep doing this. But it's such a small sample size with Trey Lance. But that being said, he hasn't super impressed me, and he does have really good weapons on that offense. He has George Kittle. I think that's where he got the majority of his good stats, because he did have I believe he had a good stat day.
Yeah, I mean, George Kittle, he's the best tight end in the league, and not only is he the best tight end in the league, he's the best blocking tight end and the best receiving tight end. I truly believe that, because his run after the catch is elite. He's elite after the catch.
He's so fucking good.
So good at contest the catch, is so good at bodying defensive backs and catching the ball. And he's such a good blocker. I can't tell you how many times I've seen a 49ers fan. I just see a guy pummeling a defender down the field. I'm like, who is that? Of course it's George Kittle.
So he was 16 of 23, about 69% completion percentage. Nice. 249 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. He had 116 rating. His yards per attempt was actually pretty good, but a lot of that came off of like yards after the catch. I think Kittle.
I just think eye test, he doesn't pass it yet, and I don't know if he will. We'll see.
They were playing the Texans. We can't ignore that.
Yeah, but they were playing the Texans.
I'd say, yeah, they'll know after next year.
I'm just going to say here, the 49ers last week were down 17-0.
They were,
and came back to win that game and stamp their ticket to the playoffs. It was really incredible what they did against the Rams.
Yeah, I'm impressed, and I love that they're playing the Cowboys.
The 49ers. I think the 49ers could make a Super Bowl run. I mean, they've looked really good at times. They smash. I mean, it's just.
I don't trust Jimmy G.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Can't Jimmy G do it? Like,
no, he can't. I don't think he can. But they just need to get rid of Jimmy G next year, and then just give the keys to Trey Lance and see what you got.
Trey Lance works out.
Yeah, I mean, you traded up for him. You gotta give him the keys.
Yeah.
But Justin Fields, another guy who didn't get a ton of time, but I think he did show some things when he played, especially in terms of like what he had around him, because he had pretty crap offensive line protection. I think his first game he got sacked like 8 times, but he did have some good games. Like I thought he played pretty well against the Packers at times. He had a great game against it wasn't great. He had an okay game against the Steelers. It's just tough when you have a lack of talent around you, but I would take Justin Fields over Carson Wentz. I would, because I think that he could turn out into something.
I think Justin Fields 100% passes the eye test. And if anything, it's because he has an okay arm. Like it could be above average in a couple of years. Maybe it takes leaps like Josh Allen. You know what I mean? And he becomes an elite passer. I don't think he's necessarily a bad passer like Josh Allen was. I don't know what his completion percentages. But I think, he's got the arm, but he has looked elusive at times. Like, I mean, here I go shitting on players for no reason, but Tyler Huntley fucking sucks. Tyler Huntley is a terrible quarterback, but the only thing that he does well is he's elusive in the pocket and he's able to escape and get some yards. That's Justin Fields. He does that better than Tyler Huntley does, and people think Tyler Huntley's great because he's able to do that, but Tyler Huntley sucks. Everybody look him in the eyes. Tyler Huntley sucks. We will all realize that, and you will all be fools. They should have kept Trace McSorley, and they would have made the playoffs if they kept Trace McSorley and he started those games. Hands down, I absolutely fucking believe that. Trace McSorley would be going into the next season, a starting quarterback on a different team. But no, unfortunately, they were idiots, and they decided to go with Huntley over him.
We do have to preface this with the fact that Bill... If there's a human that Bill loves more than anything on this planet, it's Trace McSorley.
He's the man. He's the fucking man.
But yeah, like I like Justin Fields, and I kind of wanted us to jump up and draft him, but we ended up going with Carson Wentz. But he only threw 7 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. But like I said, I agree with you. He totally does pass the eye test. There are plays that I saw from him that I was like, I haven't seen any Chicago Bears quarterback make any play like that, probably ever. They're the only franchise in NFL history who hasn't had a 4,000-yard passer, which is crazy. But I think he could be the guy in Chicago, and I think it's a very attractive head coaching spot. Just because of Justin Fields, I believe in that man, which is weird because we haven't seen a ton of him. But I don't know. It's just a feeling, I guess.
It really is night and day how I feel about Trey Lance versus Justin Fields. Like, just the eye test between the two. It looks like Justin Fields is leaps and bounds better than Trey Lance. But we'll see. We'll see about Trey Lance. Maybe everybody's right where he needs years.
We'll revisit this next year. And then the last guy you may have heard of, Mac Jones.
Oh, baby, the Mac Daddy.
Easily the best of the bunch this year. Would you agree?
I guess I'll start with the negative of Mac Jones, right? Because it's overwhelmingly positive. The negative of Mac Jones is, other than his rookie mistakes, he gives up in the pocket way too often, where he'll have his feet set and he'll have a guy coming towards him and he'll just drop on the ground and take the sack. He won't even try to evade him. And it's frustrating because he does it on third down a lot. And it's just like, oh, God damn it, Mac. Like, I wanted to get a ball off. You know what I mean? So I didn't see what he's seeing on every play, but that's tough. That's tough when that happens, especially when it's on third down. You know, in the NFL today, I feel like 95% of quarterbacks are escape artists, essentially. You know what I mean? They can evade at that point. They can make those plays. So, I'm not saying Mac Jones can't make those plays because he can roll out. It's just if he gets pressure in his face, he just falls. And Tom Brady actually did it a lot, where he would just fall on the ground and take a sack. What'd you say?
Do you think is he being coached to do that? Do you think?
Maybe he's being coached. Maybe that's a thing that they do coach their quarterbacks to keep him from getting hurt. It's just if you see a guy in your face, don't even try to make a move. You know, go down, don't fumble, don't get hurt. I get it. It's just frustrating when it happens. But to the positive from Mac, the guy is such a sound decision maker. He throws such a pretty ball to his receivers. He's just, and on top of all of that, the best thing about Mac Jones is winning is his life. Football and winning is his life. And he doesn't care about the garbage. He doesn't go on social media. He doesn't do if he gets sacked on third down and somebody's in his face cheering, I don't even think he puts his head up. He puts his head down, runs off the field, and he goes to talk to Josh McDaniels. He does that every single time they're off the field. He's just so dedicated, so fucking dedicated.
He's a robot.
It really makes me believe in him that he could be the best quarterback in the league 2 years from now. I really think that. He seems special. He seems really special.
Well, I was pretty impressed with him in that fourth quarter of our game, and none of these other guys hold a candle to the season he had. So I think there's definitely a lot for you guys to be excited about. Unfortunately, Jesus, can you ever just have a bad fucking quarterback? God. But let's move on to Brian Flores, former Patriot himself.
Flores.
Patriot coach.
Man. Let me just go off real quick. The Dolphins just fired the best head coach without question that they've had in 20 years. Let's just put it this way. Brian Flores went 5-11 with a team that people were shocked they were able to win 2 games at the end of the season. And not only did he do that, he went 5-4 to finish the season off. Fast forward to the next season, they go 10-6, matching the best record the Dolphins have had in the past 13 years. The next season, they go 9-8, which is the second best season the Dolphins have had in 13 years. And all of a sudden, and mind you, Brian Flores got just as long as Adam Gase. He got 3 years, just like Adam Gase did. That's how they treated him. They treated him like he was Adam Gase. And on their letter to the press where they talked about firing Flores, the first thing they mentioned was his 24-25 record. What? Just because he went 5-11 with a team that should have gone 0-16? Get the fuck out of here. They're such a garbage franchise, and they will continue to fucking shoot themselves in the foot. And it is fantastic. You know, seeing Brian Flores get fired took every ounce of me that was upset that we lost to the Dolphins away, because I knew that they just lost their chance. They just lost their chance to be a good team, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, they're done. They're done.
They beat us 3 times in a row. They beat us 3 times in a row, and they fired the coach that beat the Patriots 3 times in a row. You know how good it feels for the Dolphins to beat the Patriots? That's their Super Bowl every year. That's their Super Bowl.
They're done. I'd be so pissed off if I were a Dolphins fan, because I don't think Tua's the guy. I think he's nearing his ceiling if he hasn't hit it already. their defense was probably only so good because of Brian Flores. I don't think that I definitely anticipate them taking a step back. And now he's going to go maybe to Chicago and coach our boy Justin Fields.
I think Denver's got the best. They don't have a quarterback, but they have incredible weapons. I mean, you get a quarterback on that team. And a great defense. I mean, Jerry Jeudy's really good. Courtland Sutton's really good. No fancy good tight end. And they have Javonte Williams, who's a good running back. I just think they're a quarterback away from having an elite offense. I really do.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll see where he goes. It'd be funny if somehow, like, if the Chargers fired their head coach, they won't. But Brian Flores goes there because he wanted Herbert anyways, and finally ends up with them.
They might fire their head coach.
I heard he's like I mean, I know he's awful time management wise, like terrible. That coach, like, it reminds me of
But what did he do? He was the Rams defensive coordinator, and they had Aaron Donald, and they kept trading for more elite defensive players.
I could be the Rams defensive coordinator.
He had the two best players on defense in the NFL on his defense. How hard could it be to coach that defense? And they didn't even play as well as I thought they should.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I agree with you. That's a whole reason Chuck Pagano got the coaching job in Indianapolis. It's because he coached the Ravens defense. He was the defensive coordinator for the Ravens defense back when they had Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. It's like, no shit, he's looking like a good coach. He's got all this talent. So, like, God, yeah. That just fucking Colts of the last 15 years. God damn it. But what were we talking about? Brian Flores. Big mistake by the Dolphins. Big mistake. I think we can both agree on that. Most disappointing team of the year for you. Who would you say? Like, all judging from like the beginning of the year, who did you think was going to go places and they just didn't?
Who did I think was going to go places and they just didn't? Let me think about that. I don't know. I mean, if I had to say most disappointing team, it's got to be the Cardinals, man. I mean, the Cardinals came out lights out and they just limped to the playoffs. Like, they said, hey, we got, what were they? I don't even know. Were they like 7-2 or something like that? And they finished 11 and whatever, 7 or whatever, however many games are 11-6. I think it went something like that. And I just think they had a chance to be one of the best offense, like the Ravens did, one of the best offenses we've seen in a while. And like Kyler got hurt and it just fell apart. And I don't know if they're gonna win. I think they play the Rams, and all they have to do is beat the Seahawks, right? To be at home, and they couldn't even do that. And I think they're gonna lose. I think they're gonna lose to the Rams, and pretty bad. I think they're gonna lose to the Rams.
I can't believe they lost to the Seahawks. Oh, Cardinals. I'm gonna go. I mean, everything wants me to say the Colts, but like detaching myself from the emotional aspect of it, I would say the Browns.
Browns
they
is a good
were
one.
widely regarded to be one of the best rosters in the NFL, and they were eliminated from the playoffs 2 weeks ago. Wasn't even really close. So if you're a Browns fan, I feel sorry for you. I mean, you finally have this amazing team, and then you just don't make the playoffs.
I mean, they traded so much for Odell Beckham, and they were like just begging people to take him off their hands at the end. It's ridiculous.
It's I would be not feeling great if I were a Browns fan, especially because, like, what are you gonna do with Baker Mayfield? Are you gonna keep him?
What are you gonna do with Baker Mayfield? Is next year his 5th year? Is his 5th year option next year? So they have to franchise tag him or sign him?
Yeah. Did they pick up his 5th year option? I think they did.
I imagine you had to have. I mean, the fucking Panthers picked up Darnold as soon as they traded for him. That was a stupid decision.
Oh God.
Yeah, the Browns. They're not looking good for the Browns, and they had so much promise, so much hope. They had like the first overall pick, and they had like 2 other picks in the same round, and they spent them on Baker Mayfield, David Njoku, and fucking what's his name out of Michigan. They traded him to the Giants in an Odell Beckham trade. Jabril Peppers. Those are 3 players they took in that draft when they had 3 first-round picks. Come on, Browns. Come on, Browns.
Like, you could have taken like Josh Allen. I mean, I know hindsight's
Even
2020.
Saquon Barkley would have been better looking back at it in hindsight, because then you get a quarterback the next year. I don't know who's the next year, but probably works out better than Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield is just so thoroughly average. Like, he's the most average quarterback ever. And he gets so many more. If I have to see, I know he's a good actor. Like, I do think he's a good actor, but if I have to see one more fucking Baker Mayfield commercial
of him living in the stadium, like, that's what?
Like, that got old about
funny,
2 months ago. It was funny initially, but now it's like, oh, Jesus Christ, kill me. Hopefully the next one is Baker Mayfield having to file for unemployment.
Baker Mayfield getting evicted.
Yeah.
he goes and, like, his new team, like, he moves into their stadium.
Yeah. That'd be great. On the flip side, who would you say is the most surprising team this year?
The most surprising team this year. I mean, I didn't think this, but I mean, can I say Patriots? Because everybody else is probably thinking Patriots. Everybody said we sucked and we went 7-9. First of all, I don't understand that. How does a 7-9 team suck and it's one of the worst teams in the league? People are garbage how they evaluate teams in the offseason. So I'm not going to say the Patriots. You know what? The most surprising team, it's 100% the Raiders. The Raiders had so much bullshit. Much bullshit happened this season. And they fucking made the playoffs. They fucking did it. And they're the 6 or the 5 seed. You know what I mean? It's incredible what the Raiders were able to do throughout all of the goddamn shit that was thrown at them throughout the season.
It is. I think that they need to be really proud of themselves. I really like David Carr. Or Derek Carr. David Carr sucks. Derek Carr. I really like Derek Carr. I would 100% trade Wentz for Derek Carr in a heartbeat.
What if you guys traded for Baker Mayfield? I just thought about that.
I'd fucking kill myself. I'd kill myself. But I'm gonna go Cowboys just because I thought that they would suck this year. I thought they'd finish like 7-9, or well, they can't finish 7-9. I thought they'd finish like 8-9 or 9-8 or something like that. But they are one of the best teams in the NFC, and I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl or anything because they're the Cowboys and they'll choke in the playoffs. But Dak looks really good for most of the year. They have a great offense. They have great weapons. Ezekiel Elliott is done. He's trash now. Really, they ran him into the ground, I think, in his first few years. Now he just looks so slow every time he carries the ball. And then their defense. Oh my God, Micah Parsons is so fucking good. Like,
so good. And there's, I mean, who's that corner where he has the most interceptions?
Oh, Trayvon Diggs.
But he also leads the league in yardage against him. So it's like, what?
Boomer bust. Very boomer bust. But credit where credit is due. McCarthy somehow took that shit show from last year and molded it into a very good year for the Cowboys. And I think they'll win a playoff game. I don't see them going to the NFC Championship, but I think they'll get to the divisional round.
I should have mentioned this during the Brian Flores sidebar, but did you see that the Dolphins are interviewing Dan Campbell? Not Dan Campbell. Yeah. I'm sorry, not Dan Campbell. Who the fuck is the Cowboys defensive coordinator? Dan Quinn.
Yeah, they should.
They're interviewing Dan Quinn. That is, we saw this show, guys. We saw this entire thing.
Yeah.
And it did not work out well.
This is going completely off track, but I think it's important. I've never understood why coaches who suck and like they suck for multiple years and it's clear that they're not good head coaches. I don't know why they get another shot so quickly.
I don't know either.
Quinn, he's not gonna be good. He's gonna be bad. He's not a
good defensive coordinator. He's like kind of like Vic Fangio. You know what I mean? Yeah. Those kind of guys where it's like they're good at what they do, but they're not head coaches. Stop trying. You have
to try to find someone who's never done it before. So you can you have to try to find a gem in the rough, or if the rare situation where an Andy Reid becomes available.
Or like a Bruce Arians, you know what I mean?
Yeah, something like that. Then you go for that, but you do not go and hire like Chuck Pagano because he had some good years 8 years ago. It's like that's not happening.
Like Jim Caldwell got fucking interviewed by the Jaguars. Jim fucking Caldwell. That is what? I didn't even realize Jim Caldwell was still employed.
He's not terrible, but he's not getting you anywhere, I don't think. It's just crazy to me. Why are they just have to go with this known commodity? It's like it doesn't even matter if they're bad. Fucking what's his name? Adam Gase got a job after he sucked in Miami. Like
that's
what?
Terrible. That's terrible. The Jets with the Jets too. Oh my god, Adam Gase.
Yeah. Okay, so who is your MVP? I know that Aaron Rodgers is currently the favorite, but who's your MVP if you could give the award to anybody in the league?
I mean, it has to go to Rodgers, right? He's played so well. But I don't want to give it to a guy that made a decision where it's very easy for him not to play, much easier for him not to play than other players. I think that definitely says something to how much you're willing to give to your team, because it's definitely a giant advantage to be vaccinated as an NFL quarterback. Imagine, I mean, I understand he got COVID a little bit ago, but imagine if he didn't until this week. Or until next week because they have the bye. How fucked would they be? You know what I mean? Just because he wasn't vaccinated, he wouldn't. You know what I mean? It'd be much more difficult for him to play. I think it's got to go to him. I hate to say it, but it's got to be Rodgers. He's played so well this season.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think you got to give it to Tom Brady.
Yeah,
I mean,
you gotta give it to Tom.
5,316 passing yards. 43 touchdowns, over 100 quarterback rating on the season. Motherfucker's 44 years old.
Yeah.
How do you not give it to Tom? I get it. Aaron Rodgers, hoo-ha, la-di-da-do, doesn't throw any picks, very efficient, over 4,000 yards, 30-something touchdowns, I think 4 interceptions. Woo! Aaron Rodgers, yeah. Fuck you, Aaron Rodgers. Like, fuck you. Like, I understand.
The big thing is, though, at least the Packers won't win the Super Bowl if he wins MVP, because it just doesn't happen.
Right.
It's just it does not happen. I don't know
true.
why. It seems like he'd be the favorite, right? And you always fucking lose.
That's true. I would rather it go to Tom Brady. I mean, those are insane stats. Absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Like 43 touchdowns and 5,316 yards at the age of 44.
He's incredible.
I mean, I know that the Packers are the 1 seed. I know that they're probably the best team in the league, but man, that's an incredible year from Tom Brady to still be doing it at this stage of his career. Or I thought that potentially he'd fall off this year. I thought this might be
44?
his. I think he's 44.
Oh my goodness,
Tom
he's
Brady.
44.
Yeah, he's 44.
Old. That is outrageous. What's his birthday? Does it say?
August. So he's
August?
Yeah. So the next time he plays, he's gonna be 45.
The next season. Oh my god. That is wow.
He had one of the most lucrative statistical seasons in NFL history of any quarterback at the age of 44. How do you not give it? Yeah. It's gotta be. I mean, Bruce Arians came out the other day and he was like lamenting how the hell is it not Tom Brady? How is he not the MVP?
You know, I even throw Cooper Kupp in there.
Oh yeah,
Cooper Kupp had a fucking monster season.
He's gonna win Offensive Player of the Year. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. If Tom doesn't win it, I guess.
Yeah, I think they should make a habit of
not getting 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Yeah,
because MVP is basically a quarterback award.
Basically.
Like, honestly, if you win MVP as not a quarterback, I think you deserve to be in the Hall of Fame no matter what. Like Adrian Peterson, Hall of Fame no matter what. He's just it's so hard to do. It just
doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lawrence Taylor won it as a defensive player.
That's incredible.
Yeah. All right. We've reached that time of the show where we go and predict the upcoming week. It's playoffs. So playoffs. Let me see if I can bring up the schedule and we can go through these games. Because I forgot to put it on the banners. But at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday, we will have the Las Vegas Raiders at the Cincinnati Bengals. And I know that the Raiders have had this incredibly unlikely, admirable season, and that they've fought through so much adversity. But unfortunately, the Bengals, I think the Bengals win this by multiple scores. Like they're so explosive.
I think they smash on him. The Raiders' only hope is to overwhelm them with pass rush for Joe Burrow to still be hurt, because he got hurt on week 17, so he could come out there not really be able to play. And I mean, if you get a quarterback that can't really move, and the Raiders do have a good pass rush, and I don't think the Bengals necessarily have a great offensive line. Don't think it's as bad as it was last year. I think it has gotten better. But that is the path to victory for the Raiders. Be good on offense, don't make mistakes, and get after Joe Burrow. That being said, I think they're going to smash on him. Like I think it's going to be 35 to like 17. Like I don't think, and I think they're going to be up like 20-0 at halftime.
I think I agree with what you said, but they need to get the pass rush going, and I also think the only thing that they can hope for, or like the thing that they should really hope for, is that young teams tend to struggle their first time in the playoffs for whatever reason.
That's true.
That being said, the Raiders haven't exactly. The Raiders haven't exactly been. They're not in the playoffs all the time either. So it's like, but I do feel like they're a bit of an older team, so that might be an advantage for them. But it's just like, I mean, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, all those weapons, Joe Mixon, and their defense is okay. Like they can get the job done, but I think it's gonna be like 31-20 or something like that. And so next, what the hell? It was an ad. It was an ad. I was like, who's yelling at me? Patriots at the Buffalo Bills.
Oh man, I mean, obviously I want to pick the Patriots, right? I think we win. I mean, we've lost one road game all year. I don't know what it is. But we do it. We play well on the road every single time we get out there. And I don't think, as I said before, I don't think Josh Allen plays well in cold weather. I don't know why. I think it's a thing with him where he consistently plays poorly in the cold, especially in the snow. And
Peyton Manning.
I think it's supposed to snow, but I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, Peyton was that way, wasn't he? I remember one time when we played you guys, I think we left the tarp off the field for like the entire week just to make the field as garbage as it possibly could be on Sunday. I think those were the AFC Championship too.
Oh, you won then. Yeah, because I remember that was a huge narrative. Like, oh, Peyton can't win in Foxborough, and then I think it was 2005 or 2000. I think it was 2005. We like beat the shit out of you in Foxborough, and then I think that was like the only time we won there. We might have won there another time, but like, it was he was not good in cold weather, and Josh Allen was bad in our game because it was really windy and cold in our game, and he was terrible.
Yeah, he did not look good when we went to Buffalo. I mean, he's supposed to be the best quarterback out there that can play in the wind. You know what I mean?
He's got a cannon,
rocket arm. He's really good at running the ball, especially power rushing. You know what I fucking hate about Josh Allen? He's gotten so, I don't want to say good because it's a shitty thing to do. He's gotten so good at baiting people to get like towards him and to tackle him, and then sliding at the last second, getting the unnecessary roughness. It's garbage when quarterbacks do that, because it's like, well, you're supposed to protect yourself. Why are you putting yourself in a position to get hit in the head? It's just fucking garbage when it happens, and he gets those calls almost every single time. But anyways, I ran over. I think the Patriots win this game 27-21.
I am also going to pick you guys just because I wouldn't want to play Bill Belichick 3 times in one season. I wouldn't want to do that at all. I'm going to go 17-14 Patriots. I think it's going to be really close, and it's going to be an ugly game. And I think ultimately you win on a field goal.
I like that.
All right. Folk, yeah. And we got oh my God, the ad. Not again. Not again. I've got to mute it. Oh my God.
Like
I don't even know how to mute it. It's still happening. There's 2 ads. Okay, they're done. We've got the Eagles at the Buccaneers. They're not done. The Eagles at the Buccaneers.
Oh my goodness, the Eagles at the Buccaneers. I mean, does anybody in the world that's not an Eagles fan think the Eagles are gonna win this game?
I don't even think the Eagles fans think that they're gonna win.
I think I might be rooting for the Eagles. I don't know. I always do this thing where I root against the Buccaneers, but then they win. I go, that's okay. I'm kind of happy for Tom every single time I do it, and it's a super weird emotion. But I think they get absolutely manhandled. I mean, I think Tom Brady throws 6 touchdowns. I think it's before the fourth quarter even starts. Just put it that way. I think they're gonna win 49-24.
Wow. I agree that they're gonna get hosed. Like the Eagles should not. They're not a playoff team. I mean, let's be real here. I know the Colts sucked ass the other day. I know that it's embarrassing, but I'm sick and tired of Eagles fans being like, "Oh, the Colts made this trade and blah 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 didn't make the playoffs, and the Eagles with the new head coach made the playoffs." Like, okay, Eagles fans, you didn't beat a team with a winning record all year, so. Are you a playoff team, or did you just get lucky and play a weak schedule? So, plus you play in the NFC and it's weaker. They're going to get destroyed. They don't belong in the playoffs. They're going to get bodied. It's a lot like the Washington football team last year, except...
Yeah, how the fuck did they pull this off 2 years in a row, the Buccaneers?
I don't know.
Like, what?
I don't know. And the fact that they rested their starters, I think, was a mistake. Because you... are not an experienced playoff team. You don't know what it's like to be in the playoffs. Now you're going to probably be rusty and going on the road, playing against the team that is very experienced in the playoffs. So I think it's just a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
Next, we've got the throwback to the 90s, the 49ers at the Dallas Cowboys.
Other than, I guess, the Patriots game, this is the one I'm most excited for. This is going to be such a sweet matchup. I mean, I think the 49ers are going to take it. I think they're going to beat the Cowboys, and I think they're going to win by like 2 touchdowns. I don't think it's necessarily going to be close. Yeah. I don't know. It's just something about the Cowboys where I feel like they're going to come out, and like they do every now and then, they're going to come out and they're going to come out flat, and they won't be able to recover from it. And I think Kyle Shanahan, he's an extremely experienced head coach. He does this to teams a lot in the playoffs where he gets off to a good head start. And I think it's going to happen. I think they're going to be up 17-0 in the second quarter, and they're just going to end up winning. I don't know. What do I want to give them? Let's give them 38-21. That's what I'll put the final score at.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Niners win. I'm going to take the Cowboys. I think it's going to be a closer game than that. I think it's going to be one of those games that comes down to the final 4 minutes or so. I'm going to take the Cowboys 27-24. Ultimately, I trust Dak more than I trust Jimmy. I do think
Kyle Shanahan... the Bengals. That's who it was. That's why I was super high on them. The Bengals and the Rams is who they beat at the end of the season. Where they look. I mean, those are those are really fucking good teams to beat. So I'm sorry I interrupted you.
I feel like that was before the Bengals really exploded, though. Like the Bengals became really good after that game. They beat the Chiefs. Team. But yeah, I'm going to take the Cowboys 27-24. I think Dak plays a pretty efficient game, and the Cowboys have just enough to pull it out. And this is probably the worst game of the weekend, but the Steelers versus the Chiefs in Arrowhead.
I mean, do I want to go 77-3? I can't go 77-3, but I think the Chiefs are just gonna mollywop them. Like I don't think it's gonna be close. Like even from the start, 35-0 at the end at halftime. Let's just put it that way. That's what it's going to be. Or what happened to the Raiders against the Chiefs like 3-4 weeks ago? I think it was 35-0.5.
Yeah,
that's what's going to happen to the Steelers this weekend. They are going to get absolutely smashed. And I think, I don't know, I'm going to go 59
Jesus Christ
to 3 points.
That's my God. I think that the Steelers are going to get blown out. I'm going to say 38-17. I think they'll get some garbage time points. But I don't even know if I'm gonna watch this game. That's how bad it's gonna be. Like
I'm gonna
the
watch this
Steelers
to hope Ben Roethlisberger does poorly, but I'm gonna have it on mute because the whole time it's gonna be, oh, Ben Roethlisberger, one of the greatest quarterbacks we've ever seen.
He totally didn't rape anybody. He
Yeah, how
totally
did
didn't
the
do
world
any of that.
completely forget about that shit? It's ridiculous.
It's gross,
Absolutely
man.
ridiculous.
Did you see his last game at home? How they like staged it so that like as he was coming to the tunnel, oh, there's his family. Oh, his kids are running to him. Oh, it's such a
I didn't see
beautiful
that. I'm
moment.
so glad I did it.
He's waving at the crowd. Oh, it's not scripted at all. We didn't plan this. It was so cheesy. And it's so gross how like the rape thing just gets brushed under the rug. Didn't he get like do it twice or something? Like it was
I don't know. I just know that he settled on the big one, and that's why people forgot about it.
Yeah. Ugh. Fucking rapist. Final game of the wild card weekend. Cardinals at the Rams. It should be a good one.
Oh man, I want the Cardinals to do well because they're exciting. I mean, they were exciting to watch, but I don't think they're going to put up much of a fight here. I think a lot of blowouts this weekend that I'm predicting. Jeez, I think the Rams are going to win. Like, oh man, let me do some math. Like, let's go 31-17. I don't think it's gonna. I think it's gonna be the same kind of thing that I thought about the 49ers Cowboys, where the Rams just running up on them quick, and they're not able to come back.
I'm also going to take the Rams. The Cardinals are just inconsistent at best, is what you could say, in the latter part of the season. I think they'll lose to the Rams, maybe 35-24 or something like that. I think it'll be one of those games where it's always just out of reach for the Cardinals. Always a 2-score game. But that'll do it. We've got some hour and 46-minute long episode.
Speedy episode.
Yeah, we haven't done this in a while, but we had a lot to talk about, and we'll definitely be back next week to talk about the first round of the playoffs. Which I will say, at least I don't have to be stressed out about the Colts this week. I'll just be able to enjoy all the games.
So happy the Patriots play on Saturday. I wish they play on the first one, but I'm just glad they don't play on Sunday or Monday. Monday would be terrible. Monday would be so terrible to play. Like if I was a Cardinals fan, you know what I mean? And I was out here thinking we were playing the Rams on Monday, that'd be terrible. Worst case scenario.
Yeah, so at least I get to enjoy some football. And hopefully we'll have some good games. I think we only disagreed on one game.
Yeah,
that being the Cowboys-Niners.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to see what happens. But it was fun. I'm Zach. I'll see you guys next time.
And I'm Bill. Excited for next week.
Let's have some good games to watch, folks. See ya.